Okay. Okay. We're recording now. All right.
Okay.
Tanya, go ahead.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Tania Fatma, the moderator for today's webinar, Engineering Rich Habits, How NED Minds Can Build Lasting Wealth. Thank you so much for joining us today. I welcome all of you on behalf of NEDEA Chicago Board. Before we formally start the webinar, I request all of you, if you have the questions, you can send the questions into the chat. We will be having a 15-minute question and answer session at the end of the lecture. So go ahead and send the questions in the chat. Our speaker for today, Mujeeb Pasha, is a civil engineer with over 30 years of experience across major sectors of public infrastructure, from airports and roads to tolling, design, build, and large-scale construction programs. Mujeeb's story is uniquely American. Born in India and raised in majestic Salt Lake City, Utah, he followed in the footsteps of his father, also a civil engineer who retired from the Utah Department of Transportation. Growing up in America, Mujeeb learned many of life's important lessons through what he fondly calls a rich dad, poor dad upbringing, balancing discipline, gratitude, and financial wisdom from elders and co-workers who shared how money works in America. Professionally, Mujeeb has served in leadership roles across multiple agencies and now brings the deep public sector insight back home, having recently rejoined the Illinois Tollway in a management role focused on internal audits for construction and engineering. Beyond engineering, Mujeeb is passionate about helping others achieve financial freedom and generate stability, especially fellow immigrants and young professionals navigating their American journey. He and his wife, Dr. Balia Hashmi Basha, an internal medicine physician, are proud parents of 2 daughters and recently joined the Grandparents Club, one of life's greatest honor. You can also connect with Mujeeb professionally on LinkedIn to continue the conversation and learn more about his work and mentorship initiatives. Thank you so much, Mujeeb. Over to you.
Tania, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, great. Thank you. And thank you to NED, Engineers Association of Greater Chicago, for the invitation for this inaugural webinar. I recently attended the summer event that you had, and which was both amazing and also so nice to see everyone again. And for the webinar, my title is Engineering Rich Habits, How NED Minds Can Build Lasting Wealth. And just before I get into the series is to share more about a personal, as Tanya said, immigrants, like all of us, we come to America for education and opportunity. Many are now well settled, and then so the next challenge is how to protect and structure your financial future. This could be young NEDians or those who have graduated and retired, to be honest with you. Meaning graduated, meaning they have in their career, they've moved on in their career, they're mid-level or they're more senior. But at any point in time, to protect and structure your financial future for your, not just for yourself, but for the next generation. So today's goal will be connecting engineering thinking with financial wisdom to build generational wealth ethically. And I just want to give also, it's not just about us, it's all, sometimes it's not sometimes, it always is. Our parents worked hard to bring us here to this country. And so now it's on us to apply engineering discipline, which could mean planning, optimization, life cycle thinking, which I'll be talking about, to money and legacy. And that, my next slide, which I think I can get to go. Okay. So just very, very briefly, thank you, Tania, for sharing about myself. I'm an engineer, I'm an immigrant, I'm also a financial learner. I'm a licensed professional engineer, as was already said. I'm also a licensed financial professional. It is a fiduciary. It's something that anyone can learn to do, by the way, each of you. And I love to share with you about that, more about my story about that. But it's really to understand how money really works in America. And so my goal is to simplify financial literacy for engineers, families, and immigrants. I didn't, even personally, I didn't pursue the knowledge of financial matters for any kind of sales or anything like that. I pursued it for understanding, right? And what I discovered is financial freedom isn't luck, it's systems and habits. And so, again, the immigrant journey from sacrifice to significance. And I do want to share, which might be very elemental to especially the Tiger leadership of the NEDians, and then all those participating. They could be younger, newer immigrants, and newer professionally. There was a first generation that came to America that would have been like I'm 58 years old. That would have been like my parents, like many of the elder NEDians. That first generation came to America, and many of them actually took public service positions, which paid less, but they provided stability to their family. And then, as we all know, there was probably a second chapter, a second generation that came probably in the 90s to 2000s that were the relatives of those. They came to America. And then there's the newer, younger generation, maybe the second or the third generation. So the first generation worked hard. They saved, they sacrificed. The second generation inherits their opportunity. They don't struggle as much. And so really the mission and what I'm trying to say is we all move from survival to success to significance. And I would love to see, and I do hope that other NEDians will also go into leadership roles. Like I know many of you are in leadership or professors roles, which are leadership roles in universities, in companies, in your industries. When we do so, we become part of the American society, obviously, and then we can build systems that outlive us. I'll be focusing my discussion today on what I call two schools of wealth. And what I mean is I'm going to be focusing on two books. Okay. Tom Corley, who's a CPA, has a book called Rich Habits. And so I'll be sharing some concepts of Tom Corley for practical daily habits. The second one is Napoleon Hill's famous book, Think and Grow Rich. When he says think and grow rich, he literally means wealth, but it could also mean richness in life. And so he has a series of principles that I'm going to be sharing, the mindset and success principles. I'll be sharing some of those with you, specifically how they apply to between Tom Corley and Napoleon Hill, because together it's behavior and belief that can create wealth. So these are conceptual, but it's also very much real. It's very much real life. I'm going to show you some concepts. So the key idea is that habits create destiny. So you don't decide your future, right? That's taqdir, right? You don't decide your future, but you can decide, and you do decide your habits, right? Your daily routines become long-term results. So what Tom Corley would say in his Rich Habits is that wealthy individuals, they are consistent readers, they're savers, planners, and relationship builders. Whereas struggling individuals are more reactive, they think short-term, and they're more emotional with their money. So it's just understanding these key ideas that habits can create destiny. Napoleon Hill, his success formula, right, is four concepts: to think, you think, you believe in something, then you act the action, and then you can achieve. Think, believe, act, achieve. And so I have four concepts. He has a whole book, but I have just four concepts. One of them is to have definite major purpose. So what Napoleon Hill would say is you should have a chief aim and purpose and a definiteness of time. You have to give time to any goal that you have. You have to give a time to it in order to achieve that goal, and your mind will allow you to accomplish that goal within that time. So have a definite major purpose. Know what you're working toward. He also has a concept, Napoleon Hill, about faith, which is just, any faith, by the way, and a concept of autosuggestion, which means repeating positive belief in your mission or in what you're wanting to achieve. The third concept is specialized knowledge. Actually, both Tom Corley and Napoleon Hill talk about or discuss specialized knowledge when it comes to wealth creation. So in this way, you learn valuable skills, and you have valuable skills. The knowledge that you have from your university and from the work that you're doing, that is a building of specialized knowledge. That is your career, right? It's your specialized knowledge, and so those are the skills that others need and they value. And then the fourth concept is persistence and a mastermind alliance. NED itself, the NEDEA organization itself, is a mastermind alliance because you're collaborating with like-minded people, and so you actually have the fourth one already in place, just to let you know, which is amazing. My next, so again, Napoleon Hill wasn't just talking about money. He meant self-mastery, because wealth follows purpose and belief. I'd like to now get into money matters for immigrants. This is interestingly in probably in the home country and also here in America, the money matters is actually not discussed in high schools in America. It's not taught, is what I mean to say. It's not taught. And that's what I said. That's why in the introduction, there's another book by Robert Kiyosaki called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I think there were parts of my own father that were a rich dad, but probably more like the poor dad, to be honest. But then I had family friends. We had his coworkers, where I grew up in Utah, a lot of Mormons, and then coworkers throughout my career that were probably my rich dads for myself, that taught me about, again, how money works in America. So on this slide, money matters for immigrants is to understand the American system. So U.S. system, and really the monetary system, it rewards disciplined savers and investors, right? There are tax-advantaged vehicles like a 401k. 401k is a part of the tax code. An IRA or a Roth IRA, individual retirement account, is just part of the U.S. tax code. Health savings account is part of the U.S. tax code. And when you start reading, I know it's not the best reading material, it's more like bedtime reading, but the U.S. tax code has a lot in it. And so those are the things that I've read about also. And so I just want to share that with you. So these are not, get rich quick schemes or something like that. They're structured tools, right? These are the things that the wealthy in America know about. That's not taught in schools in America. The earlier you start, the stronger there is a compounding effect. And I'll be talking more about riba in a series of slides. The next idea is the wealth triangle. And it's a simple concept, right? You earn through your career. You can earn through businesses that you're doing or business that you're doing, or your specialized skill, right? Through consulting. The second idea is to save and protect, to have an emergency fund. There's nothing wrong with credit cards, I'm just going to say, but it's better to have an emergency fund so you don't have to use that credit card as an emergency fund. Insurance, there's different kinds of insurance. We have car insurance. There is life insurance through an employer. There is an idea in America of life insurance, of your own life insurance. And I just want to, and then the idea of budgeting, which is family budgeting. The third one is to invest and multiply, meaning having real assets or real or home ownership and the like. So it's not just about growing money; it's really about preserving dignity and security, right, in the long run. And truthfully, all as engineers, whether you are mechanical engineers or computer engineers or civil engineers or maybe NEDians are also in medicine. I don't know 100%, but I'm assuming there's also a medical college. I'm sorry, so NED is an engineering college, but I know many of you may be married to doctors, so I'll just put it that way, or physicians. Engineers understand value over time, right? Life cycle cost analysis. So in engineering, we compare today's costs versus future maintenance costs using maybe discount factors. We don't think about it as interest. It's economic equivalence, because there is such a thing as time and inflation and opportunity costs. These affect all real systems, right? So the same principles applies to personal wealth. So just like life cycle cost analysis helps us design sustainable infrastructure, similarly, applying time value analysis helps us design sustainable lives, is what I want to allude to. Now, this is just an intro on the concept of that I want to really get deep into, because I know it can be very challenging for us living in a non-Muslim country, okay, and meaning in America, and just there's a lot going on with our understanding of, again, how money works in America and what it means for us to live ethically in America. So what is compounding? Conceptually, compounding is momentum from consistent effort, right? So like an engineer reusing data or improving design efficiency, so small improvements can add up. Financial compounding, I submit to you, is ethical stewardship. It's not speculation, right? In Islam, riba is prohibited, meaning money shouldn't make money from nothing. But compounding in halal finance, it reflects ownership growth. So your capital participates in productive real world value. And I have, and I'm sure many of you do, and we can maybe talk about that later in questions. I have a financial gal. Actually, it's not a financial guy. Her name is Mesa Ahmed, and that's one person. I have other people also. But even though I'm knowledgeable about finances, even I would not, I would go to someone else for that advice also. Again, I wanted to learn about financial. That's why I'm teaching. I'm sharing this knowledge with you so you can become more educated about it, just overall. My next slide is ethical growth versus haram interest. So again, stewardship, not speculation. Again, haram interest is money, creating money from nothing. Whereas ethical investing is money backed by assets or productivity or services, right? So when you're just saving your money, again, there is an opportunity cost adjustment. It's not exploitation. So in Islamic finance, there's a profit that can come from real ownership, which is permissible. So think of compounding as a life cycle curve. Your savings are like securitized investments. They're not loans or something like that. They're producing value ethically. Again, I want to get back into the Tom Corley and Napoleon Hill, the rich habits to build wealth. There are 7 ideas or concepts that Tom Corley presents for daily practices for the financially secure. Number one, read and learn daily. Number two, save 10 to 20% of your income. This is what rich people do, the wealthy do in America. Number three, set daily, weekly, and monthly goals. So you're writing down your goals. Number four, build meaningful professional networks like you're already doing. Number five, and I'm going to say it now because this webinar is being presented in fall of 2025 when the weather is getting a little cooler in Chicago, a few months before January 1st. Number five is to exercise and maintain health. Might be getting a little cooler outside. We may not want to go for those walks, but please try to maintain your health. Number six is to avoid gossip, negativity, and impulsive spending, but just to avoid these negative ideas. And number seven is to give back to community for charity. These are actually the things that the wealthy do in America, according to a study the work by Tom Corley. Conversely, poor habits to avoid that Tom Corley found in his research: living beyond your means, not having written goals, being more emotional or impulsive with purchases, having a lack of consistent savings or tracking your own finances or savings, and having a passive mindset, meaning waiting instead of planning. Sometimes I like to think of it, or I say it to my friends or to the people that I do career coaching for, is sometimes we spend more time planning a vacation than we do planning our own retirement. Planning an international trip can be pretty complex, right? The logistics of it all. And we spend a lot of time on that and due diligence. But how much time do we really spend for planning our retirement? So it is about each of us, but it's also about the next generation, right? So structuring for financial future, financial engineering for families. So to build a financial blueprint, which would be income and savings and protection and legacy, probably some of the concepts that I would want to encourage is to have, again, an emergency reserve of 6 months, right? There was several years ago, there was a pandemic, of course, as we all know, the global pandemic, and it caused everyone to rethink about what kind of savings that they actually have. How could they survive? And so just to have that mindset, to maintain emergency reserves, review all of your types of insurance, be it auto insurance, be it life insurance, be it, now it's the end of the year. Again, this webinar is being offered in October. As you have most employers, they have open enrollment with your employer. Review those. It's good to do that and to rethink how have things changed. And also something called an estate plan. All of us, we should have a will and an estate plan and have it reviewed, periodically, say annually, and educate your family about money. So it's engineering for your household, right? Every choice has life cycle cost implications. Protecting the legacy from one generation to the next. Some different ideas and concepts I'm going to share with you are, maybe some of you have heard about, is a 529 college savings plan. Remember, this 529, this is also in the IRS tax code, is what it is actually. It's a college savings plan. There's other types of custodial Roth IRAs or trust accounts, which could be used to protect the legacy of children, right? Of our kids, for them to go to college, meaning it's a college savings plan and more. It's not just a college savings plan, it could be more. So to teach children for them that they should be thinking about giving, saving, and investing early. Have money meetings as a family to normalize the conversation, and to model discipline with money, not fear of money. those are some of the things that I learned from I'll say from my rich dad or my rich coworkers. The compounding also works for character, right? Your habits compound too. So knowledge compounds, your relationships compound, reputation compounds. Every good habit builds long-term dividends in peace, respect, and stability. And so as you're doing these things, this is a very blissful country, the United States of America. It's made in such a way that all you have to do is be the best version of yourself, and things are in place as long as you're aware of them to save money and to let it grow ethically, right? So again, our parents sacrificed, we sacrificed for the next generation. So now we structure for the future. Our parents gave us the opportunity, or we gave the opportunity for the next generation. We owe them structure, stewardship, and sustainability. And so because with wealth, it provides the freedom to serve others. And I think of wealth as an act of gratitude, is meaning that just protecting wealth. So these are my last two slides, and I think we're making good time, hopefully. And so as a call to action, your next steps for this week are 4 things. 3 things are shown here. I'm going to add an extra one. Choose 2 rich habits to start now. Okay. 2 things that you want to do. They could be keystone habits. What are they called? Keystone habits. When you start doing these, that you just, it could be going to the gym. It could be waking up a little bit earlier, right? It could be spending a little bit more time with family. These are good habits. 2 rich habits. These are very good habits to do. If you're a smoker, maybe cutting back on that. Okay. Review your savings and protection plan. And also schedule your first family money talk. Your money talk, if you're a single person, maybe that might be having a money talk with another elder that's a NEDian. That would be a great idea. And try to learn one new financial concept this month. Maybe it's about, what is a Roth IRA exactly? Like, what does that mean? Well, a Roth IRA, I'll just describe to you, it's a way to save money that is, you're taxed now, but you never pay taxes ever in the future, income taxes. So you take the distribution in the future, it's never taxed, versus your 401k or 457 if you work for a public agency, right, or a university. But a 401k is pre-tax, so you get the benefit now immediately in the next tax year. It grows, but then when you take the distribution, you have to pay taxes at the future tax rate, whatever that may be. There is an idea that you're at a lower tax rate in the future. That's the concept of it. But there's, just to understand, there's these different buckets that you can save money. You can put it in both, by the way. You can put it in multiple buckets. And my last slide is just about myself. I'll be happy to connect with you on LinkedIn. I don't know if there's any other Mujeeb Bashas out there but I work currently I'm with the Illinois Tollway. And so if you connect with me on LinkedIn, you'll see that. I'm also on Instagram, and I'll just round out by saying it's U.S. Civil Engineer Uncle. Believe it or not, in the last 5 years since the pandemic of spring of 2020, I've helped facilitate 600 international graduate students to land their first full-time job. Alhamdulillah, the universe opened up to me. I teach them ideas that are like Napoleon Hill, which is to change their mindset and to instill belief that they came halfway around the world for a reason. And it's not to play it safe. And so with that, I turn it back to Tania, and thank you all.
Thank you so much, Mujeeb. It was really wholesome, detailed presentation. I'm sure we would be able to put at least some points that you talked about, especially the ones putting some stuff on your physical health and the other things that you mentioned. We have a few questions from the audience, so
Sure. I'll
we
try.
would like to take those questions. So the question number one is from Mr. Saad. What is your best financial advice for young engineers who are just starting their careers now?
Excellent. The best advice for engineers just starting their career is, if your employer has a 401k match. So you can Google this, by the way. It's called free money. What they mean is the employer is matching dollar for dollar up to a certain amount. That's what they mean by the free money, is to at least do that. Okay. I remember I said to save 10 to 20%. That's 10 to 20% in different places, in different ways. And I completely understand you may want to, and people may want to, or have a need to send money overseas or something. That's completely great, by the way. That's wonderful. But at least regarding this is to participate in the 401k match. Okay. If for some reason your employer doesn't have a 401k match, you can actually open up an IRA or an individual retirement account at your bank, and you can just put money there. It's not going to be pre-tax, by the way. It's just, but at least you have it there for yourself. You can create your own. I will add on, if you're moving from employer to employer to employer, don't leave your money with the previous employer. Okay, you can choose to roll it over into the new employer, or you can actually just create your own IRA at a bank or with a financial advisor or something, something. You can do it yourself, by the way. And, meaning not yourself. You have to go through a company or someone that's registered, that securities registered, right? But it doesn't have to be managed by a person, is what I mean, right? So you can open up, I'm just picking a name, like if you can open up an IRA at Fidelity, for example. You're managing it yourself, and you can put your own, you can roll it over into your Fidelity account, your own Fidelity account. But don't leave your money at your previous employers. What they've probably done is they put it into a safe position where it's just in bonds or something like that. And you can't put money into it, obviously. They're your previous employer.
Right.
It was a
Thank you.
great question.
All right. Yeah, the next question is actually my question. So what, in your opinion, are less risk investments for young engineers, like, for example, shares, ETFs, or physical gold? What do you think, as in for young engineers?
So I'm actually not a registered investment advisor. I want to just say that. I actually have what's called a life insurance producer license, and I'm studying for a securities license, believe it or not. I'm a civil engineer, and I'm just sharing this with you. It's called a Series 6, Series 63 license. And so technically, I'm not allowed to give that advice. But just generally speaking, I feel that it's good to experiment with this and see. There's nothing wrong with that, At least you become more. My just as the idea is, and maybe there's other people may have different, thought on this. My idea is just you're just dabbling in it to feel more comfortable with it, right? And so again, it's something. Usually, what they say is based on risk tolerance.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
The next question is, what are good money experts to listen and follow, like Dave Ramsey, Suze Orman, etc.?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. No, Dave Ramsey is very good. One that I followed Dave Ramsey. I followed Dave Ramsey. Maybe more of a old school. I used the word is Suze Orman. Your public library will have a lot of information also. Of course, I'm just saying. And I know everything's online or on YouTube now. There is one that I'm just going to mention is Patrick Bet David, 20 Rules of Money. And that's something that I share with the international graduate students, is Patrick Bet David, 20 Rules of Money, which is on YouTube. which everyone can find. It's really fascinating because some of the concepts he shows is that depending on how much money you have saved, let's just say it's about I think that's $8,000, you're actually 8 doubles away from $1 million. Like, it's about doubling your money. You can go in reverse also. The other concept, like a concept that he would have is, and I don't want to get into it too deep, but is that to understand the U.S. tax code. The other idea that he has is so anyway, that's another person that I follow. But Dave Ramsey is excellent also.
Right. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, we are getting a lot of comments from fellow
Please.
listeners too. Thank you so much, everyone. So next question is, what are better investment stock, bond, ETF for engineers who are close to retirement?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a very good question. So I'm 58 years old, and I do believe in your time horizon, you do have to be cautious at all times. At all times, you have to be cautious, especially as you're nearing retirement. Because we don't know, we cannot predict the future, what's going to happen, and so you do have to protect that nest egg. And so there's basically the basic idea that is stocks and bonds, right? So stocks are more, so bonds are more security orientated, more fixed orientated, versus bonds, which can be more, they use the word volatile, but it depends if it's US or international. You could have index funds. Index funds actually means it's a whole basket of stocks. But when you have an index fund, then they have certain fees associated with it. Okay. And so I do believe, just I would say again personally, that as you're getting on and you're nearing retirement, you do want to protect that nest egg. What you're thinking
Right.
about the risk tolerance, it does make a difference. Absolutely. Yes.
Definitely. The next question is from Mr. Mahmood. The 401k is good for forks with PR. Is it also good for those on H1, etc., the other visas?
Oh, that's a great question, actually. This is one of the unique things that I find about American society, about America, is that and I'm going to say it more like in this way, is that you're on an H-1B, you're an immigrant to America because what you're aiming to do and you're wanting to do and your heart is telling you is you want to be an American citizen. Okay? That means that one day you will say the Pledge of Allegiance and you will give up your passport and you will take another blue passport, by the way. And so you should participate in, if I'm getting the question right, yes, you should participate in the American economic system. When you're participating in it, even if it's real estate, that means you own a piece of America, which I hate. It's I'm just going to be a little bit more. I'm not getting political when I say this or something like that. I know it's an association, but just more current events. So this is November 2025, the same month that in New York City there was a new mayor was elected, and I've had some conversations with people that are immigrants, and I asked them, how would it be if an Irishman became a mayor of your city in your home country? How would that look? How would that be? And they kind of laughed and said, I don't think it would happen. That's the beauty of America. You can actually own a piece of America with these financial instruments that we're talking about.
Right.
You have the freedom to do that. That's the beauty of the country.
Definitely. Next question is from Nizam Saab. What is your preference, Roth or regular IRA? Aren't both basically same in the long run?
Yeah, both actually. Yeah, the answer is both.
Yeah, sorry, both are regular. Yeah.
No, the both. Okay, right. So the Roth IRA is, so IRA and then it's Roth IRA, right? So the IRA is, by the way, I'm gonna say the reason why. So the Roth, so the regular IRA is so we're not talking about 401k or Roth or 401k Roth. He's actually asking very specifically about IRA or Roth IRA. Is that correct? I think that is what he's asking, by the way. But so there's two different kinds. One is through an employer and one is outside of an employer. If it's with an employer, that means it's a 401k, by the way, but they have a Roth 401k. But he didn't ask that question. All right. But I'm just going to touch on it. So one is pre-tax and one is you pay taxes on it. So the Roth, you always pay taxes on it. Now, the question that he asked is about an IRA and a Roth IRA. In both of those, it's actually your own money that you're putting into an individual retirement account. So it's your own money that you're putting in to an IRA because you've maxed out your employer-sponsored 401k. And then there's something called a Roth IRA, which is it's growing tax-free forever. So the Roth IRA is and there are also income limits. I'm sorry, offhand, I don't know the income limit for a Roth IRA, but I will just say that I met a young civil engineer who's a structural engineer who got a fantastic offer on his starting salary of $85,000, by the way, which is phenomenal in Chicago. I'm so happy for him. But his wife is a pharmacist. And I immediately told him, you have to open up a Roth IRA. You must open up in some way a Roth IRA because now you have this double high income family. They could very soon not be able to have to put into a Roth IRA. There are income limits for that. All right. So I'm glad he asked the question. People, you should look into a Roth IRA. If you can open it, do it. Because hopefully, inshallah, you will get to so much money that you won't be able to put into it, which is called a good problem, but still.
Right. Okay. The next question is from Mr. Rashid. But if you have to leave this country, what happened to our 401k?
That's interesting. So if you leave the country, there's almost you have to like talk to a lawyer about. Talk to an immigration attorney about this question. But if you have to leave the country, let me find out about that if I may, if that's okay. Let me speak to an immigration attorney that I know, or some other people, and that's a great question. That's an interesting question.
Yeah, definitely. So Mr. Rashid can contact you.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to, all are great questions, and thank you, Mujeeb, for being very patient. I want to mention a couple comments which are great. One is Mahmood Bhai is doing excellent job and educating a lot of things. And Tariq Masood, who was our fellow engineer, he mentioned this thing which I can 100% support.
Please.
He said, take advantage of the offer from your parents to stay at their home. If they offer you, say for buying your own apartment, that's another advice. So I don't know, Mujeeb, you agree, but I am doing, my son is doing
110%.
And with the home prices going so high, the interest rate, the kids can build wealth and save for their own house. Without that, they will be throwing money on. So that's something I will, and Mujeeb is saying yes also. So Tariq, thank you for your comments. And I think Mahmood Bhai also gave a very good comment that he's very experienced and hopefully Mahmood Bhai have achieved it. He's saying those in their 30s target 5 to 8 million net asset, no loan at age 65. And he said you can make it inshallah, yet it's doable. So Mahmood Bhai, if you want to say more, but you said that, so it's thank you for giving the hope to everybody. So Taniyat, sorry to, but I want to mention this. These are very good comments. So
yeah, no, definitely, definitely.
He's absolutely right. I want to talk to him also, by the way, because I often, with the career coaching that I was saying that I do, they're usually in their 20s. They're international students, F1 visa, and I share with them that they just need modest, disciplined saving in their 401k. And growing at 7%, which is what the stock market is. And by the age of 40, they can have $500,000, which is true. You can put it into a compound interest calculator, and that's just that one bucket. And so what he's saying is absolutely 100% correct. And I would love to talk to him about what he's doing. He can be my rich dad also.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for all these comments. We have, yeah, I'm just trying to get more into the questions. We can discuss more comments at the end too. Thank you so much, everyone. Next question is from Mr. Imad. Are there any limitations of using HSA to get triple tax advantage?
To get triple?
Are there any limitations of using HSA to get triple tax advantage?
Triple, I'm sorry, I didn't get that. What does that mean?
Triple tax. Yeah. Imad, if you want to unmute yourself,
I can clarify. So yeah, I think what I've been advised, I've never signed up for HSA. I did it last year. So I think when companies sell HSA for medical plan, they say that the biggest advantage of that is that you can put money pre-tax, continue to grow, and then eventually when you retire, you can still use it, but only for medical purposes. I think that's the only limitation that I can understand, but they sell it as like a marketing term and it's called triple tax advantage. So I was trying to understand if there aren't any limitations.
That's interesting to say that. Okay, thank you. That's a good question. HSA, which is on a high deductible health plan only, and so certain employers only offer, certain employers don't offer it, but if you do, it's tied to what's called a high deductible health plan. And then they attach an investment account. So the money that you're putting in, you're right, it can be used, and it's portable also. So it can go from employer to employer. It's a very unique thing. It's also pre-tax. So that's probably what I mean by the triple by the triple tax. It says pre-tax. I'm assuming the other tax is it's growing tax-free because it's being used for health purposes, so it's not taxed. I don't know what the third part of the triple part was exactly, but it's a very, very solid idea, by the way, to have, because there is otherwise we have health insurance while we're working, but we don't have health insurance when we're not working, by the way. And so it becomes very expensive as we're getting older, and so to have that that fund is very beneficial.
Yeah.
There are other things.
And real quick, I researched on this topic lately a lot. So I'm not a financial expert, but just want to give my input here that Imad, you are 100% right. It's like it can reduce your taxes also. If you are a high income bracket, the 401k and HSA are the two good tools to reduce your taxes. And HSA, the beauty is that you get out of it and then you can move from job to job. It's your money and you can use anytime, and there is no penalty. And the amount to take out is quite large compared to the flexible spending account, which is less. But HSA, I have used myself, and I tell everybody to use it if they have a high deductible plan, and it can use anytime at your life. So that's my personal experience. So I just want to share with you.
That's great.
Right.
Thank you, Satsab. Thank you. We have another question from Mr. Tony Grace. What kind of businesses can young immigrants build apart from real estate?
Okay, so I'm assuming we mean like you're on an H-1B visa, right? First of all, I'm going to assume that. So what kind of businesses? So in terms of like what kind of businesses can young immigrants build besides real estate is this is the land of opportunity, America. You should learn about, there is a LLC or a S Corp, right, or a C Corp, and there are franchises, right? There's different kinds of online businesses. There's home-based businesses. There are many things that are done in America once you start exploring that people are doing. You can do anything. It has to be, keep everything legal, legal and ethical. I sometimes I wasn't sure who was asking the question. I'm not saying that he's doing something, suggesting anything, but anything like that. But this is definitely the land of opportunity that anyone can get into any kind of business. You should have a business plan, probably, is a good idea. Talk to peers, network, besides NEDians, but also maybe professional networks if you want to go into, if it's not real estate, let's say it's another industry that you want to become part of that industry association, right? To talk to people. And surprisingly, you're not in competition with anyone. Everyone is open in America. That's one of the beautiful things about America, as we all know. Everyone loves to share.
Definitely. And we have seen a lot of examples, like we give the opportunity to
Yeah.
people to give their advertisements in our newsletter. And I was so surprised to see that a lot of engineers are really doing good. Like, apart from their jobs, they're doing like a lot of good businesses. So yeah, try to have some ideas.
Interesting.
From seniors as well. We
That's
have
a great
another
idea.
question.
So I do believe in having an 80-20. You should have a 20% in case something happens to your 80%, which is something Gary Vaynerchuk or Gary V would say. And so yeah, pursue that passion or dream.
Right.
You maybe you came here through a vehicle with your education, but your passion, your WHY, your why is somewhere else. And that doesn't mean you're leaving your profession or something. It's just you're pursuing your passion. So it's a great question.
Definitely. So the next question is, what about halal ETFs? My friend only buys halal ETF. Do you have any good halal ETF in your mind right now?
I personally don't. I don't think about it that way, just personally. I do. I have a different thought process on that, so I apologize, like in terms of my thought patterns on that. I think what he's saying is a good thing for sure.
Right. Yeah.
You go ahead, please.
If I may, I just want to add, for those people who are interested in halal, there is, I believe it's called Saturna or Amana. Those people, they have a mutual fund, which is exclusive for halal. They invest in halal. So just wanted to add for those people specific. I am not, but sure.
So sorry to, but the question is from mine because they said that they don't invest in the companies who do gambling or alcohol and all that. But I have the same opinion like you, Mujeeb. I don't go that route because I think that system is so interconnected. If you are working with a bank or anything, so I have a different view. But he is very adamant about that he only buys the ETFs which are halal. And they are traded and all that. So just want to share with you. So
no, that's great. That's great. This is still being recorded, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Okay, that's great. Yes, that makes sense.
Right. So we have a comment from Mr. Tariq Masood. H1 visa holder must have only a passive role in any other investment they may make, but be careful and check with immigrant lawyer. You do not want to jeopardize your H1 status. Thank you so much, Tariq Saab. Thank you so much, Zubair, for your input as well. We will be wrapping up in 5 minutes. So if you have any other closing comments, questions, you can connect to Mr. Mujeeb Pasha on LinkedIn as well.
Thanks.
So if we don't have any questions, I would.
Daniel, can you read the last comment from Mahmood Bhai? That's an important comment. If you please read the comment because he wrote
definitely. Mahmood Saab has a comment. Awesome work. Just a reminder, the advice provided is for reference only and not a recommendation for investment. Please refer to your CFA for advice. The board doesn't bear any responsibility of any investment made. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, NDT for Mujeeb Salah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think we would like to wrap it up now. Thank you so much, Mujeeb Saab, again.
Thank you.
For conducting and providing us such insightful thoughts, giving us your years of experience into like an hour webinar. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you all, and look forward to seeing you at the next NEDEA event, big event.
Definitely. Thank you so much
for joining us today. And I would like you all to come up for any other questions directly to Mr. Mujeeb or any of the board members. And we look forward to you attending our annual dinner on 6th December at the new banquets.
That'll be great. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Tanya.
Mujeeb, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tazeen. Thank you, everyone. Allah
Thank you,
Hafiz.
everybody. Thank you, Mujeeb.
Great
Thank you.
job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Allah Hafiz.